years? No. I know what 5 years is costing me right now, not just the products, the time, the energy, the effort, and then all of that just goes away in one sitting in somebody's chair. No. I noticed most of you resonated with the 8 habits I had to stop doing for my natural 4C hair video. This is a part 2, so I'm going to be sharing 8 more habits that I had to unlearn for my 4C hair to grow super fast. The habits are in no particular order. Habit number 2 changed my entire life and also has a big impact in my natural hair journey. Habit number 5 and 6 are habits that I think most of us are kind of scared of doing. Let's get into it. Habit number 1, the first habit I had to unlearn, or not necessarily unlearn, but stop doing, is using oil on my scalp. Now, I do use oils on my scalp only when I install my protective style the first day, and after that I no longer put oils on my scalp. Why? Oils clog the pores. It's more or less like suffocating for the roots, and the hair follicles that grow the hair are on the roots. So what I do right now is I use a hair serum on my scalp every other day or every day. Those scalp serums are amazing because I notice I do not have a lot of itching. It's more or less like the scalp or the environment in my scalp is more breathable, and the hair serums are less greasy. I don't have my scalp super duper oily for as long as I have a protective style on for. Now, where do I use the oils? I use the oils on the ends, like from the mid shaft down to the tip of my hair as a sealant. So LOC method, because my hair is high porosity 4C hair. Now let's go to habit number 2, and this one changed my entire natural hair journey. In fact, I feel like without this habit, I don't think I would be on YouTube right now sharing my natural hair journey, because I have been relaxed for 18 years, guys, and right now I'm 5 years in the natural hair journey. Now, that habit is not reading the description of a product before using the product. I stopped using any product on my hair without reading the instructions on the product. Guys, I became natural because I did not read the instructions on the product that I used on my hair. If you ask me what the name of that product is, I have no idea because I cannot remember. The only thing that I remember was the product I used on my hair was a treatment that I had to use after shampooing. I now read every single thing on the bottle or wherever I can find instructions on how to use a product. If you want to see how I became natural, I will be linking that video up here. It will also be in the descriptions and maybe even playing at the end of this video. Now, when I say I read everything that is on the description or the instructions on how to use a product, I read everything, and nothing excites me more than when I see on the description of a product what it is for and what it is not for. So please read the instructions on your products before using them, because this can either make or break your natural hair journey. If you're learning anything so far, click that like button. Let's get back into it. The third habit I had to unlearn was not using any kind of brush to detangle my hair. Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer out here. I'm not bringing any brand or any product to say that, oh, this doesn't work, but for my hair and for what I experienced, this is what happened to me. There are 2 brushes that I bought when I started, and I feel like I'll be showing those 2 brushes up here. The first one is, I don't know the name, but when I find the name, I'll put it up as well, but it's the one with the red thing. But the handle it has a little weight to it, so I found that every time I used that particular brush and washed it, I would have a lot of breakage. I don't know if because the bristles are thick or the brush had some weight to it, or I wasn't being gentle with my hair, but anytime I use that brush, I would have a lot of breakage. I don't know if I'm supposed to be using this brush either as a styling tool, but I was using it as a detangling brush, and my hair was not having it, and I had to stop using the brush. The black one on the other end was kind of good, but sometimes I found out that it's like, I don't know, maybe there's a technique to using these brushes, guys. If there's a better technique on how to use the brushes to detangle the hair, please type them in the comment section. Maybe I was doing it wrong. But the black brush on the other end, what if I'm detangling my hair, it also caused a lot of breakage to my hair. It was not, detangling was not smooth till I finally bumped into the Tangle Teaser brush, and that detangles my hair amazingly. I don't stress. And the Tangle Teaser brush, also one thing I noticed is that it's very light, so I can control how gentle I am and how I use it on my hair. Those other two brushes did not work for me, so I stopped using them. It wasn't just the detangling tools. Another thing that I stopped doing was also I stopped using there's this particular blow dryer brush. I would also be linking that up there. It has tiny beads and all those. That brush wasn't a good pick for my hair, because I noticed that whenever I used it to blow dry my hair, I would have a lot of strands coming out of the brush once I was done. So I stopped using that blow drying brush, and right now what I use is the Dyson Supersonic blow dryer that has different detangling brushes and the different tips that you can swap. I use the Dyson Supersonic blow dryer, and that has been amazing for blow drying my hair. Now, habit number 4 that I stopped is high tension hairstyles. Now guys, I'm gonna explain what I mean by high tension hairstyles. If I cannot move my eyebrows or my forehead, then I know that whatever style that I have on my hair is tight. Another way that I know that the hair is tight, if it gives me a facelift, pulls my head up or my eyes become more like this. This is a natural facelift using a hairstyle. Once this is happening, I know that hairstyle is too tight for my hair, and whenever I take down those hairstyles, I have more strands or more breakage on my hair than when I have low tension, low manipulation hairstyles. So my twist out, my braids out, my mini twist, my cornrows, and even the cornrows, I'm ensuring that the tension that is on my hair is, I should be able to raise my eyebrows without wondering what's going on, or without wondering what is happening to my hair. So if it gives me a natural facelift, it's a no, 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 no. If it's too tight, I take it out and reduce the tension in my fingers when I install them. Now, habit number 5. This one is the one I said I feel like most of us are scared to do, which will kind of boil down into habit number 6. So they're kind of married into each other, or they flow along with each other. Now, habit number 5 is I stopped visiting random hairstylists. I stopped letting random hairstylists to style my hair. If you're gonna style my hair, guys, you must have people who have vouched for you. Not just people who have vouched for you, but like the word of mouth. Word of mouth, and then I must have seen the person's hair to be like, this stylist is good, they understand what they're doing because there's no heat damage, this person's hair is thriving. I am not allowing any random hairstylist to touch my hair, because being natural alone is a job on its own. Then imagine if I've nurtured my hair for 4 years, and then I just visit a random hairstylist, and all of that effort, all of that hard work in one day is turned to no. So I'm not allowing any random hairstylist to touch my hair. I must have word of mouth, guys. I'm not even doing I went to their Instagram page or I saw something. No, word of mouth. No. If you're gonna be touching my hair or handling my hair, and you're gonna be like my hairstylist, you should handle my hair the way I would handle it, or even better. And then this rolls over into habit number 6. And habit number 6 is I stopped sitting down in any hairstylist's chair and just keep quiet when they're doing random stuff to my hair. Guys, That's mine. And the one where I'm like, I would sit down and maybe somebody's detangling my hair and they're just yanking at it and then you're quiet, or like, I'm not gonna be quiet. And also, if I know that there are products that you want to be using on my hair and these products are not products I would, and these products are not products that I would usually use on my hair, or maybe products that I react to or that I'm allergic to, or you're doing something to my hair that I know that at the end of the day it's either going to damage or do something, I'm not going to be quiet, guys. I feel like this is one of the things that I've heard a lot of things about, people going to a hairstylist and then maybe they're using too much heat and then you just sit on the chair and you don't say anything. No, no, no. I'm so passionate about this one because I think there was a story that I watched on Instagram on someone who had been natural for 10 years and her natural hair journey ended after, in fact, the heat damage was so bad that her hair did not revert back. I think right now she has chopped off the damaged ends, but she's back to embracing her curls. No, 10 years, no. I know what 5 years is costing me right now, not just the products, the time, the energy, the effort, and then all of that just goes away in one sitting in somebody's chair. No, I'm really passionate about this, guys. So I'm going to share how I know a good hairstylist. One, how you handle my hair, how you detangle my hair, the tools that you use. Are you using your fingers, wide tooth comb, but you're just going straight up with all those small combs that have small gaps? That's another thing. Another thing I would look at is, are you suggesting products that are amazing, gonna be like, are you suggesting things that, oh, you could try this, do that, this will be better for your hair, based on what I know for my hair type? Those are the things I look at. And I, for one, would say that a good hairstylist is somebody who is amazing, that I will always go back to, or who I would even remember. Just let me know in the comment sections, are there hairstylists that you've gone to style your hair with them before and you're like, I don't even remember their names, or there are people who you have met and you're like, this person is somebody worth coming back to. I would come back, I would recommend. That, for me, is what makes a good hairstylist. And I would always remember the people who have been amazing with my hair. And if you have been bad, I would also remember you, so that I wouldn't be recommending you or your services to somebody else that I know. That's just me, and that's what I think. Let me know in the comment section, have you called out any hairstylist for treating your hair in a way that you do not like, and how did they respond or react to it? And for me, if a hairstylist is amazing, that will determine like if I come back or if I keep it moving. All right, now moving on. Habit number 7 was I just stopped using random products. Not just random products, but also not just thinking that, oh, moisturizing products are the products that only work for my hair. Based on my hair type, knowing that my hair type is high porosity, once in a while I go in with protein treatments. Once in a while I switch up my routine so that I am effectively using the products the way that they should be used. I'm not just using the products and thinking, oh, this is what works, this is not what works. No, we're not trying random stuff. Now we're going based on information and what works for my hair. Habit number, I don't know, maybe 8 or 7. But the next habit that I also stopped doing that has really helped me is I stopped leaving products on my hair longer than the recommended time that is stipulated in the description or on the instructions. So if it says leave, if my leave-in says, sorry, not leave-in, if my deep conditioner says leave it for 15 to 20 minutes, I leave it for 15 to 20 minutes. I do not exceed that time. I'll give an example. So now I use flaxseed gel. I have flaxseed gel for detangling my hair. I also have the African Pride Pre-Poo. So if I know that I'm going to be taking down mini twist and it's going to take me a couple of days to take down my mini twist, I'm not using African Pride Pre-Poo to detangle my hair if the takedown process is going to take longer than 1 day. I'm not saying this right. Let me say this right. So if it's going to take me 4 to 5 days or 3 days to take down my protective hairstyle, I use flaxseed gel as my pre-poo. And The flaxseed gel is also what helps me to take down my protective style without breakage. And even if I'm going to sleep with flaxseed gel on my hair, flaxseed gel, sometimes I use it as a leave-in conditioner. That is okay. But in the occasion where I have to use African Pride, my hair is already loose and I'm just going in same day to pre-poo the hair, same day I'm washing it off. I'm not sleeping with African Pride pre-poo in my hair. Tin treatments and my deep conditioners, I also do not leave them longer than the stipulated amount of time on the description of the product. Now I'm gonna add maybe one bonus tip and just to round everything up, and that is I stopped following everything that everybody is saying out there, because being natural alone, it's not an easy job. It's not easy. There are a lot of information out there, and trying random things at the same time we're trying to figure out a routine, at the same time as trying to figure out the products that are working for my hair is too much. So I would rather have a simple routine, and even if I'm bringing in something new into my routine, try that for a moment, see how that works on my hair before I move into another thing. Because why I'm saying I stopped following what everybody says out there is because those brushes that I had were as a result of the information that was out there. I got those brushes. I'm not saying the brushes are bad, but the thing is, what works for one person's hair and what works for your own hair is gonna be different. So finding out what worked for my hair was amazing for me, and I would say find out what works for your hair type. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. You find something else that works for your hair type, and not just trying everything that is out there or every random thing that is out there. So guys, these are the habits that I had to unlearn that has helped me in my natural hair journey. I'm currently 5 years in and I'm loving every step of it. If you have learned anything, please like, share, and subscribe. And then I also have the part 1 of the video where I share the habits that I also had to unlearn, the first 8 habits that will be playing right after this. If you got to the video, thank you so much. You're the best, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!